There's a push for company tax cuts for big businesses to be back on the agenda as the government faces pressure to boost the economy post-COVID pandemic. The RBA governor has also flagged overhauling income, land and consumption taxes. Centre Alliance has rejected the push, claiming a vast amount of large companies often avoid paying taxes. Joining me now is Centre Alliance Senator Rex Patrick. Rex, thanks for joining us. By the way, how are you? You did, of course, contract coronavirus. You're fighting fit at the moment?
Yeah, good evening. Look, I don't want to be the centre of any attention in relation to COVID-19 because I was asymptomatic right throughout. The only reason I found out about my having COVID-19 was because a close colleague, another senator, tested positive. And there were people around me, because I'm a public figure, who were very anxious. So I was pretty sure that I was negative, having no symptoms, took the test and was found to be positive.
Okay. All right. Let's talk big business tax cuts. The Treasurer, Josh Frydenberg, has already flagged the prospect of reducing company taxes from 30 to 25%. We've had Peter Costello, the former Treasurer, come out today and suggest that we should accelerate proposed 2024 personal income tax. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, we need to work out what the objective is. If the objective is to turn the economy back on after COVID-19, then perhaps we need to be focusing on small businesses and what incentives we can give them, on household incomes to make sure there is disposable income. I have some objection to these very large companies who don't pay any tax at all. So we have companies like Exxon, who over 5 years has earned $42 billion and has paid zero in corporate tax. Virgin were the same, $23.5 billion over 5 years, having paid $0 in tax. And these are companies that enjoy the roads that lead to the airports, or the roads that lead to their facilities. They enjoy the AFP being around, or the Defence Forces being around to protect assets. They enjoy the rule of law, all of those sorts of things, and yet we find these companies massive revenues, and yet they pay less tax than the average worker does.
Senator, the tracing app has caused a fair bit of controversy. Now, what you're suggesting is that we should enact some form of legislation to ensure the protection of the data that's collated. Is that where you're at on this?
Yeah, look, I think the application will have positive attributes. It will allow health officials to do contract tracing more easily, and for that reason, we must give it due consideration. But it does have a surveillance-type function to it, and therefore we need to be careful about privacy. One of the things that concerns me, and this is particularly concerning for people like journalists and indeed politicians who deal with people like whistleblowers all of the time, I could download the application quite happily onto my phone. I could spend some time walking around, find that I have COVID-19, or perhaps, and then upload that data for health purposes, and then find later that someone's leaked a document, and the police can exercise warrant powers over the data. So despite all the best wishes of a health official, or indeed a minister stating that you can't have access to the data, if a police officer or an investigative agency were to convince a magistrate that there was useful evidence in that data, it could be obtained by warrant or perhaps by subpoena. So we do need to have laws in place that narrowly define the purpose for which the data could be used, making it an offence to use it for anything else, and to explicitly state that you can't seek it by way of warrant, you can't subpoena it, it can't be adduced in evidence, and indeed making sure there's a sunset clause at the end so that the data has to be destroyed at the end.
If you're satisfied with those privacy protocols, will you download the app?
Well, yes, I would. I mean, obviously I'm in a different situation having had COVID-19, but yes, I would support the application. I think it does have use, but we need to be very careful. We need to have the government convince Australians that there are no privacy issues, and it's in that context I say that legislation that should be enacted to create no doubt in anyone's mind that the data can only lawfully be used for one purpose.
Senator Patrick, are you likely to read Malcolm Turnbull's book?
No, probably not. I'm not one for gossip or indeed some of the stuff that happens in the background. I'm too busy focusing on policies, focusing on constituents. As a crossbencher who has to, sometimes my decisions make a real difference in the Senate, I really do have to focus on pending issues.
Senator Rex Patrick, thank you for joining us tonight on Sky News Across Australia. Always appreciate your time.
Yeah, and thank you.